Brenner and Dylan, a loving couple, were on their way to vacation when an unpleasant encounter changed their lives forever. Dylan, a police officer, and Brenner, a former elite soldier, were driving down the road when a truck recklessly overtook them. The driver, a rude man named Butt, did not hesitate to make offensive comments about Brenner, shouting crude phrases like, "Baby, I love you," before driving off. Sometime later, the couple stopped at a restaurant to rest. While Dylan went to the bathroom, Brenner sat outside. That's when Butt reappeared, approaching her in an intimidating way and throwing more disgusting provocations. His threatening posture and tone revealed bad intentions. The situation escalated until Dylan returned and confronted Butt. Tension rose as the two men exchanged harsh words, but before the fight got out of control, an elderly lady from the restaurant intervened and calmed things down. She explained that the townsfolk weren't used to seeing couples like them around, and on Butt's behalf apologized for what had happened. Dylan politely thanked her, but the lady insisted he call her Mama, as everyone else did. After dinner, the couple hit the road again, looking for a quiet place in the forest to camp. As they settled in, a local policewoman approached them with a friendly tone. She warned them about the hostility of the locals toward outsiders and suggested they be careful. Grateful for the advice, Brenner and Dylan decided to explore the area a little before sleeping. During the walk, Dylan asked his wife which path they should take, and she chose the left trail. But soon after they started, a sudden rainstorm surprised them. Seeking shelter, they found an abandoned cabin and decided to enter. The romantic atmosphere led them to an intimate moment, but peace didn't last long. Brenner began exploring the cabin and discovered a secret compartment. Shocked, she found a large stockpile of ammunition inside. Realizing the danger, she called Dylan. Terrified, they decided to leave the cabin as quickly as possible, but before they could escape, they were brutally attacked by Butt, who struck them with the butt of his gun, leaving them unconscious. When Brenner and Dylan woke up, Butt and his men surrounded them. The criminals took pleasure in inflicting violence on Dylan and taunting Brenner. At one point, Butt pretended to apologize, but it was only a trick. He suddenly pulled out his gun and shot Dylan and Brenner. Believing they were dead, he ordered his men to dispose of the bodies. The henchmen dug a large hole and threw the bodies inside. But what no one knew was that Brenner was still alive. The bullets had only caused superficial wounds. When she regained consciousness, she realized the cruel reality: Dylan was dead. Devastated and blaming herself for choosing the left trail, she almost gave in to despair. But Brenner was not an ordinary woman. Her identity as a highly trained elite soldier resurfaced. Now she had only one purpose: revenge. Armed with fury and a thirst for justice, she picked up an axe and began hunting down those responsible for Dylan's death. Meanwhile, Butt returned to Mama's house, where his gang intimidated and abused local women. Mama, who turned out to be an influential figure, issued new orders, making it clear she controlled the group. As the criminals continued their reign of terror, Brenner crafted improvised weapons in the forest and silently began her hunt. One by one, she eliminated Butt's men with precision. Though killing gave her no pleasure, she pushed forward. At one point, she even cut off a man's foot but left him alive, coldly watching him crawl in agony. Her vengeance escalated when she set fire near Butt's cabin, triggering a massive explosion of ammunition that lit up the forest. The noise drew the attention of Sheriff Hobbs, who began investigating. Mama, furious, ordered Butt to check it out. Along the way, he found one of his men badly wounded by Brenner and returned to Mama's house. When Butt confessed that several men had been killed, Mama slapped him for causing so much trouble. At this point, it became clear Mama wasn't just a respected matriarch, but the leader of a powerful criminal organization. She ordered her tech specialist to investigate Brenner's past. They discovered the truth: Brenner was an ex-military elite soldier. Mama realized she had underestimated her enemy. Sheriff Hobbs, investigating further, found bodies in the forest and reported it to his command. Soon after, one of his subordinates revealed a terrifying truth: the entire forest was under Mama's control. Everything that happened there was orchestrated by her. Determined, Hobbs confronted Mama directly, but she manipulated the situation, claiming one of her men had committed suicide. With no proof, Hobbs was forced to back off. Later that night, Mama and her gang held a ritual for their dead. But Drunk returned to his quarters, only to find Brenner waiting. Without hesitation, she slit his throat, coldly watching him die and avenging her husband. The next day, Brenner witnessed another horror, Mama's men dragging young women into a locked room. Inside, she discovered several imprisoned girls. Shocked and moved, Brenner freed them. But during the escape, one panicked girl screamed, alerting the gang. In the chaos, one girl was killed, but Brenner brutally dispatched the attackers and fled into the forest with a survivor named Emily. When Mama learned of Butt's death and the loss of the girls, she was consumed with rage. She ordered all her men and dogs to hunt down Brenner and Emily. The chase was merciless, but Brenner's traps and combat skills allowed her to kill her pursuers. During a brief rest, Emily confessed a terrifying secret. She was pregnant with Butt's child. Afraid of what Mama would do if she were caught, Emily broke down, but Brenner promised to protect her at all costs. Eventually, Emily was captured, but Brenner saved her, killing their attackers in the process. Sheriff Hobbs, caught in the crossfire, was shot in the leg, but with Brenner's help, they neutralized the enemies and hid him. Trying to escape, Brenner and Emily ran into the same policewoman who had warned them earlier. Believing they'd found help, they entered her car. Exhausted, they fell asleep, but woke up surrounded by Mama's men. The policewoman had been working for Mama all along. Taken to Mama's base, the torture began. Emily pleaded desperately and revealed her pregnancy. Shocked, Mama ordered that Emily be taken elsewhere instead of killed immediately. During a twist of fate, Emily managed to kill a guard and free Brenner. Now unleashed, Brenner stormed into Mama's lair, slaughtering her men in a brutal fight. Desperate, Mama grabbed Emily and held a knife to her throat. A tense standoff followed, but in the chaos, Mama slit Emily's throat and escaped. Brenner killed the remaining thugs, but Emily died in her arms. 3 months later, Mama, hiding in a garden, thought she was safe. But she received a text message, Judgment Day. A single gunshot rang out. Brenner, camouflaged in the forest, had ended Mama's reign of terror. Without looking back, she walked away, her mission complete.